present in favor of the nominee? Yes, please come forward, state your name, your town of residence, and your relationship to the nominee.
My name is Bill Humphrey. I'm from Newton. Do not have any relationship with the nominee. He seems nice. Thank you very much to the council and to the Lieutenant Governor for affording me time to make a few brief remarks. I was able to review with some depth the qualifications of the Honorable Judge Gaziano and some of his cases over the years. And at the moment, at this point in the hearing, I have a tentatively predominantly favorable opinion, pending, of course, further questions by the council. It is my hope that the council will ask the nominee in particular about his philosophy on the Massachusetts constitutional provision stating unambiguously the people shall have the right to clean air and water. Today's nominee has at the lower court level actually been involved with environmental law cases. And these cases, in my opinion, often determine the course of environmental and energy policy in the Commonwealth. Climate change is already expected to have severe impacts within my generation's lifetime, and the SJC will remain vital in our state's action on this issue. People of all ages, of course, are also very concerned right now of the developments in Flint, Michigan, and recent discoveries about water quality in the public schools in Massachusetts. I additionally hope that the council will ask detailed questions regarding economic justice issues such as housing rights and organized labor, which are both very pressing public concerns in Massachusetts today. Massachusetts courts historically and recently have been crucial on economic fairness issues. And finally, I look forward to hearing the nominee's views on the intricacies of reproductive freedom, as well as upholding and expanding civil rights. Yesterday, Alton Sterling, a poor black man in police custody, was fatally shot in Louisiana. And in view of his death and so many others, I am hoping that the council will invite the nominee to offer some thoughts on the importance of the Black Lives Matter movement and how judges might secure racial justice and reforms. Unfortunately, I can't speak more directly to the nominee's views on any of these questions. Per my agreement with Sharon Casey of the JMC, that I would not be doing interviews with the nominees regarding testimony. But I do look forward to hearing the Honorable Judge Gaziano's testimony if they have these questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Humphrey. Yes. Question for the witness from the council of Jubinville and then the council of Ayala.
How old are you?
25.
You've been in the courtroom, he's been? Have you ever been in the courtroom that he's been?
No, I am not.
You were there?
I am not.
Do you know him at all?
I do not.
What is your purpose of being here?
I was speaking in the public interest as a member of the public.
Well, you were a candidate for election to this office, are you not?
That's correct.
So you put a suit on today and you sat here to get some publicity for your campaign?
No, that's not.
That's not true. You never spoke at any other hearing.
I mean, there have been other candidates running for this office in other districts that have testified at other hearings within the past year. Well, I guess Councilor Alabama can correct me, but I believe that one of the members from the 8th district who was running testified within the past year.
He wasn't running for office then.
My recollection is that it was, but I may be mistaken.
So you want us to ask certain questions?
I mean, you're welcome to ask whatever questions you like.
Why wouldn't you have submitted those documents to us so we could prepare to do that?
I did reach out to some of the council.
Did you submit your questions for the councils to review?
I don't follow the line of questioning.
Did you submit those questions you just read to all of the councils so we could review them in preparation to ask this candidate those questions?
I did not.
So again, what purpose are you here for?
I am speaking on issues that are of particular concern to me, particular concern to people that I work with, particular concern to organizations that I work with.
It has nothing to do with the fact that you're running for this office at this time.
I'm not going to comment on this line of questioning.
Well, you're here to give your statement and answer questions, are you not?
I have given my statement and I answered questions.
And are you going to use this little trip here to campaign about being here and putting your 2 cents in?
I don't know, probably not. I don't mix.
Well, I don't think you have anything to offer to this council, especially if you, in fact, don't even know this company. You've never been in a courtroom. And I think you this isn't a political party here for you to get elected.
Thank you, Council Jubinville, Council Iannella.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Do you have an opinion about Judge Gaziano's temperament? That's an important quality that I was asking.
My understanding from the research that I've been able to do so far, and again, I was not afforded the opportunity to speak in an interview, is that he tends to have a fairly solid temperament, especially, I know that there are concerns about people coming from prosecutorial backgrounds. I was impressed in particular with the decision regarding the issue of the evidence and dismissing the charges. I think that's pretty unusual for someone with a prosecutorial background.
But does that go to the issue of judicial temperament, making that decision?
Well, again, I made a qualified statement. There are some areas that I am not able to assess. I was hoping to do interviews with the nominees, and I had a conversation with the chair about that. And, the agreement was not to do that. Otherwise, I would be able to speak more in depth.
When you say you had an agreement with Sharon Casey works for the administration, do you problem?
I'm
I'm trying to figure out what arrangement, what agreement did you have?
It was, I mean,
I didn't hear it, that's what I'm saying.
I guess you would have to talk to her about it.
Well, you said you had an agreement with Sharon Casey. What was that agreement?
That she would be asking the nominees not to do interviews with the members of the general public prior to the hearings regarding testimony specifically, and I said that that was acceptable as long as that rule was applied, to fairly to everyone, which I think that's a fair.
Did you ask Sharon Casey about coming here and speaking before this body?
My understanding and what she said in my conversation was that any member of the public may testify, so I did.
And is it your understanding that any member of the public can call any judicial nominee? It's not against the law, is it?
I don't personally feel comfortable calling, as just a member of the general public, calling a judge who's sitting on the Superior Court in light of the remarks that Councilor Duff made earlier about the fact that there are serious threats made against judges, so I wouldn't want to be out of the blue calling like that. So I went through the proper channels with the administrators at the Superior Court, and then it was referred, I guess, to Sharon.
Okay, and you don't know anything about his trial experience. You basically, in a nutshell, you really don't know Judge Casey.
I believe that I can clear it.
So just, you can answer that one more.
I've already answered the question.
I'm asking this one, so you don't want to answer.
I don't know if there's anything I can add.
With all due respect, I'm not sure what you're here for. I mean, I appreciate you coming, but I don't know if you're for or against such a speaking up public statement, because you have no personal knowledge of Mr. Gaziano's character, his integrity, his temperament, his trial experience. Well, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Iannella, and Council Duff, one final question.
I actually understand what you're saying, that you wanted, as a member of the public, to ask questions, and that's why you're here today. The only part of it that I personally find disturbing is that you were told you weren't allowed to speak to them. Because I think Councilor Iannella said that too. I personally, and I like Sharon Casey a lot, but I think it's incredibly wrong to tell anybody in the public they can't speak to a potential judicial nominee, no matter what level the judiciary they're applying for. I mean, it is your right as a citizen to do that, and it seems that your only recourse, if you had questions for whatever reason, personal or political, that your only recourse was to be here. So, I get it. It's all that I'm saying. But I do, for the record, find it disturbing that the administration would dictate that the general public is not allowed to speak to any potential nominee it's a safety issue sometimes, and one has the opportunity, should have the opportunity to ask, and the person should have the opportunity to accept or deny, or decline. I mean, that's how I see it. That's just my opinion, but anyway, thank you for coming today.
Okay, thank you. Counselor,
I just want to say, I'm not sure what happened here. We have a witness who doesn't seem to know why. I mean, you made your points, but it seems like you're not really clear how you got here, what the process was. So before I make any comments about what the administration did or didn't do, I mean, obviously you're here, so you understand that you can make a public statement. I'm not so sure that Sharon Casey did you calling anybody, or that she had the power to do that. That sounds like that's what you said, so.
No, I will.
You had some deal with her, and I'm gonna speak to her because I know you come to a lot of our hearings, and I'm not sure that you always get what the procedures are going on, but I do wanna say, to the public, you have an absolute right to come here and testify, and, you know, you're here appropriately, you put your name on the witness list, and, you know, we have a duty in our nation to listen to you. I mean, you're a taxpayer, you're a resident of Massachusetts, you're impacted by the decisions that we make, just like our constituents are in our communities, and, you know, I applaud you for coming. I want to speak to, Executive Director James. I don't think there was any deal made. I think that might have just been a term of art you used.
I wasn't being critical. We had a conversation about it and, you know, a discussion about it, and it wasn't like it was, an order being thrown at me or
Right,
something.
I just appreciate you clearing it up.
Yeah.
You can call whoever you want. Maybe you did call the judge. Maybe you tried to reach the judge. I don't know. I mean,
Yes,
maybe-
I had called to the Superior Court staff.
Okay, and then, so you just didn't connect with the judge. So you made a call, you didn't connect, so.
Right, at some point, she called me. I'm not sure what happened there. It was fine, I didn't have any issues.
I got one follow-up, please.
wait, 1 minute. There is a witness, and Counselor Jubinville, do you have a question for the
I
witness?
do. You know this fellow?
No.
I'm from the state house.
Okay, you've been here about 20 times at these hearings, right? Who wore a suit before.
I have.
And what were you gonna do if you were allowed to interview the judge? What were you gonna do?
I was presumably going to add details from that into my testimony.
Well, let me make a point. Everybody has a right to come in here and testify, and you do. But when you use it as a cheap political stunt for your reelection, I get offended to that. There's no place in here for that. And that's what you're doing, in my opinion.
I respectfully disagree.
All right, this will be the final question for this witness, as there are, we need one more witness that I'd like to take before we adjourn for the weekly matters of the council.
Thank you.
Counselor Iannarone.
Just to get the record straight, you use the word arrangement. Did you have an arrangement with Sharon Casey not to speak with Judge Casey?
Yes, I believe so.
And the arrangement was what?
I believe I've already described it.
It was not to call Judge Casey.
Not to interview him or the other SJC nominees, and that no one else would either.
Thank you. Also,
Okay, I'd like to know if there's any more witnesses in favor of the nominee.
I'm Suzanne Del Vecchio.
You may come forward and state your name, your town or city of residence, and your relationship to the nominee.
Good afternoon, everybody.
The principal's office.
My name is Suzanne Del Vecchio, and I'm the Superior Court judge for 21 years, and I'm the Chief Justice of that court for 5 years. And I wasn't going to speak for Frank today, but I decided I'd better after the last go around. I'm not running for any office. I want to make that clear, not yours or anyone else's. But I have known Frank for many, many years. I first met Frank when he was a prosecutor in the Plymouth District Attorney's Office, and he is a superstar. He was then He is a superstar on the bench, and he will make a magnificent justice of the Supreme Judicial Court of this state. He embodies everything we want to see in a judge. He is fair, he is compassionate, he is knowledgeable, he was a super prosecutor, but he did everything he needed to do as a prosecutor. There are rules that prosecutors have to follow that other lawyers don't have to follow. And a lot of times, and I know the defense lawyers in this room will tell you, they fudge a little bit. They don't get, no, not you, but they don't get every little bit of evidence. They don't turn over every little bit of exculpatory evidence. They should, because they think, well, it may not be exculpatory. They don't do all of the things they should do in order to put their thumb on the scale of justice. Frank never has ever done that. His reputation is sterling. He was an excellent prosecutor in the district attorney's office. He was an excellent federal prosecutor. He never became jaded. There were never notches on the desk so that he could say he had so many victories. He looked at it, it was a job, to do that. He was compassionate, he was kind, he is a great legal scholar. He will be a magnificent judge of the SJC. I am so thrilled that he has been nominated for this position. I think that all three candidates who have been nominated for the SJC are fabulous candidates. And I know that every one of you will give every one of the candidates their due as they appear before you. But I wasn't on the list today. I waited, I was going to say anything. I was sitting in the back of the court officers, my good buddies who were here for Frank today, because they think he's going to do with it. And our judges who are here today all supporting Frank, and they'll all tell you the same thing. He is exactly who we want to see on our SJC. Don't forget, we live here too.
Thank you very much. Councilman Ferreira, first question.
Well, thank you, Judge. I was your law clerk in 92, 93. I practiced Superior Court. It's nice to see you if you want to do shells.
I know. Since I'm retired.
You're talking much. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to see you. How you enjoyed your time?
I'm mediating and arbitrating. I took 6 weeks off and I went right back to work. I put the stand and I'm not going to back and do all that.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you for coming today. Councilor Jubinville.
You've had a lot of trials. Right?
Yes.
He told me, I don't know where he gets it, that you've got more TV time than any judge. I'm proud.
Look, nobody has as much TV time as you do. No, really. I'm just going to tell you one little story, all right? Here we are, court TV comes to Plymouth, and they're going to do a case where Jubinville is defense counsel. Well, who's prosecuting? Frank Gaziano and Paul Dog, the dynamic duo, with the full case. Now, there we are, we're trying the case, and I said, gee, I'm going to turn this on tonight when I go home to see what's on court TV. Well, what do I see? Bob Jubinville giving an interview. Every night after that trial, he spent 40 or 50 minutes in front of the camera giving an interview. I look at it that way. No, really. You talk about TV time, and I kept noticing he's got these great ties on coming in, the shirts are like different colors and stuff. Everybody else kind of drab, but he's really beefing it up. And I'm saying, I wonder why. Well, now we know why. He was in front of that camera for 2 weeks. And by the way, during the break, all the camera people were over talking to him. All the sound people, can you get that right, Judge Mr. Jubinville? Let's see. Oh, that's a good angle for you, Mr. Jubinville. So let's talk camera time. But anyway, that's our story.
Judge,
First time I
being distressed.
Thank you for coming just for that.
Thank you, Judge. It's the first time I've seen Councilor Jubinville blush.
Thank
Thank you very much for being with us today.
Not a question.
Everybody went to Joe Lafferman.
Thank you very much. Are there any other witnesses in favor of the nominee? Okay, are there any witnesses in opposition to the nominee? Please come forward, state your name, your city or town residence, and your relationship to the nominee.
My name's Patrick McCabe, I'm co-chair of the Publicity Coalition. We always take interest in any nominee that's going to affect families.
Where is your?
Hyde Park. I have met the nominee once before. I have to agree with everything people have said about him. He seems to be a nice guy, he seems to be knowledgeable. But the concern of the Publicity Coalition has to do with knowledge of the family court. There are problems in the family court. We work very hard to work with everybody to improve the issues in the family court. When someone comes up here, as far as we can tell, has no experience with the family court, that's a grave concern for us. If you're here to explain to the Superior Court judge what's going on in the family court, he may not believe us if he hasn't had experience in the family court. But there are real issues and real problems. We would like to see support from the SJC to help resolve those issues. Now, generally speaking, I do talk to nominees before they come up here to see if they do have knowledge of what's going on and further the conversation. And because of that, I often take the position of in support of someone who wants to have the opportunity to talk with them. I did email the nominee, and although I usually get a response back, this is the first time in a long time it's not a good response back. And I think you heard earlier as to why that may have been going on. So I think if that did happen and the nominee was told to do that, that concerns me because I think that is a bad decision on his part and whoever else was involved. Again, my concern with this nominee is his experience and knowledge of the family court, and we're really looking for nominees who are dedicated to resolving the problems with the family court, along with the other people who put on the family court, who I do believe are moving the court in the correct direction. I think this is a big issue. I think it's a minor issue. And I hope you would consider it as an issue.
Thank you, Mr. McCabe. Let's start with Council Pereira. Anyone else?
So your issue with the nominees that you get back to you.
The issue is, as we look over his what we do have in front of us, his resume, his experience with the family court. There are other nominees, for example, if they're coming from the appeals court, we have that wealth of knowledge to look at, and they usually pick the family court matter along the way. We have nothing to look at to say he has experience with the family court or has any knowledge of what's going on there.
Yeah, so sometimes in the appeals court it happens too, right? You might get a justice who has a criminal background, you might get another justice in the family court. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. The fact of the matter is there are 6 million people in the commonwealth, right? So if 6 million people send them an email saying, hey, I want to chat with you about my particular issue. And he's a sitting judge and he's nominated to the Supreme Court. So I don't think it's unusual. But what I would ask you then is, have you submitted your inquiry to your counsel so that maybe your counsel can ask the question?
Oh, I don't think there's any question on the part of my counsel and other counsels what my inquiry is next, and I believe they're fully capable of addressing this issue.
So you don't have anything, you don't have any opinion that the justice has written or anything like that would say he's not a good candidate for the SJC based on your due diligence that you did?
My concern is the lack of experience on an issue that I think that's incredibly important.
So you'd like to see somebody with family court experience?
So, well, not necessarily the family court, again, a lot of times these issues come from the appeals court, where they have wide experience in all cases. This nominee did not come from the appeals court. In fact, none of the nominees that are up here are coming from the appeals court, they're all coming from the Superior Court. That's an important court, but that's a limited part of the whole system.
And I think you and I agree on shared parenting and things like that. We've had these discussions with, but it's hard to get a nominee that, you know, we get somebody who comes in and says, hey, he doesn't have bankruptcy experience. Hey, he doesn't have, any experience in banking law, something like that. So, I appreciate you being here, but I don't see any basis for saying no when you oppose it.
Well, I expect you're going to have the opportunity to cover the issues that I don't see in his record. I hope you do ask this question. And it turns out perhaps if he's against shared parenting, perhaps he thinks family court is all roses, you
you sat under the guise of being in opposition, is it fair to say that you just don't know?
I don't only speak in favor as I have when I do know.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say, thank you, Catherine, because you take off from your work, and you look at my Pennsylvania, I know, you've been coming for years. And I think that you have made a difference. Some of the judges are listening because you are a voice for fathers. And as a woman in leadership, parenting, as a member, I share, your beliefs that you share parenting. And when you come here, you can interview, our nominees. And so you are asking us to, when we